Welcome into the fifth quarter. Unfortunately, like I always tease you every single game day, I say, hopefully, on the fifth quarter, we're breaking down a Trailblazers victory. And unfortunately, that's not the case tonight. We are breaking down a loss, and not only any loss, a loss that with it marks the end of the Trailblazers season, as the Trailblazers, they battled the best they could. They made it to the playoffs. They made it through the play-in. They did a lot of things that nobody thought they would. But they go to San Antonio for Game 5 and fall to the Spurs 114-95 and drop the series 3-1 as San Antonio moves on to take on the winner of Minnesota and Denver. Welcome into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you would like to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can hit us up on the text line at 88528. And of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there. Gonna do my best to not be sad and not be, just, oh man, woe is me. Because when the season comes to an end, that just sucks. It's terrible. But the Blazers, I thought, especially there in that fourth quarter, showed some fight. They showed fight throughout the season. And again, they got to a place that not a lot of people thought they would. They got to the playoffs. And they ended up matching up with a very, very good San Antonio team. Sometimes that stuff just happens. As I've said to you many a time, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. The Blazers didn't get through the series in this one. But again, they showed some heart. They showed some fight. They showed that they can hang at least for a few quarters here or there. Now you hit the offseason and you hit it running. You got a new owner in town, and you know that there's changes that need to be made. What those changes are, we will see. It's going to be a very, very interesting summer here in Rip City. But for one final time, let's take a look at what happened on the court tonight. It's time for a Rip City recap. Well, we talked a lot in the pregame show about the Blazers need to come out and just set the tone early. They need to come out swinging just like they did in Game 3 and 4. They just need to sustain it. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The Blazers did not come out swinging. San Antonio came out swinging, got out to an early lead. They led 36-24 after the first quarter. They outscored the Blazers 29-21 in the second, and they end up taking a 65-45 lead into the halftime locker room. It is deja vu, but flipped. You know the episode of Futurama where they're finding all the galaxies, and they find the one galaxy where the only difference is everything done by a flip of a coin was the opposite flip. And so Leela has different colored hair, and well, I flipped a coin and I decided to go red, or I flipped a coin, I decided to date Fry. Well, that's what this was. It was like the coin flip, and it was the opposite side, because it's almost the exact same game that you saw yesterday when the Blazers, or excuse me, not yesterday, a game ago when the Blazers took the 17-point lead into the halftime locker room and had a wonderful first half. So part of you sitting here going, can the Blazers do what San Antonio did to them? Can they absolutely burn the doors down and come back and make this a ball game? The answer is no. San Antonio did score just 21 points in the third, but that was enough to outscore the Blazers, who scored 20. The Blazers outscored San Antonio 30-28 in the fourth, but that wasn't enough. Final score 114-95. Points in the paint, it was 44-38 in favor of San Antonio. Second chance points allowed Portland to stay in at 21-9 in favor of Portland, doing work on the offensive glass. Fast break points 16-12 in favor of San Antonio. Turnovers, San Antonio had 17. Portland just had 9. So they did their job. They absolutely did their job. Points off turnovers, though, despite the fact that San Antonio had almost twice as many turnovers, each team had just 13 points off of. Now, this game, as was this entire series, it was won and it was lost at the 3-point line. San Antonio shot well every single game. And in this one, it was no different. 40% from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Portland, who would live and die by that three all year long, they all season long, took as the most threes in the league, the average attempts per game at the top, but the makes and the percentage near the bottom, and that was no different today. Portland took 17 more three-pointers than San Antonio and managed to still make one less than San Antonio did. San Antonio, 12 of 30 from beyond the arc, like we said, 40%. Portland, 11 of 47, good for 23.4%. From the field overall, Portland shot 35%, while San Antonio shot 54.7. There's so much about this game you look at and you're like, holy bleep. Holy expletive. San Antonio took 75 shots. Portland took 94, almost 20 more shots, but still lost this game by almost 20 points. Free throws, Portland was 18 of 23. San Antonio was 20 of 29. So, this game, just like many of the ones we saw already, won and lost by the fact that Portland struggled mightily to shoot the basketball. Looking at this individually on the Spurs side, Devin Vassell had 10 points, 19 points from Julian Champagny, who was red hot from beyond the arc, 5 of 7. Victor Wembanyama, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 6 block shots, 21 points from De'Aaron Fox. Stephon Castle had 15 and 17 points from Dylan Harper. There's that balance I've been talking about that we needed from Portland. San Antonio showing it off. On the Portland side, Toumani Camara, 7 points on 1 of 7 from beyond the arc, 2 of 10 from the field. Another poor game from him, unfortunately. Offensively, defensively, I still thought he did what he needed to do. He was tasked with a lot on that end. Maybe it just wore him out because he could not get it going on the offensive side. Donovan Clingan, same thing, 4 of 11 from the field. He just had 10 points. He had 5 rebounds, 6 assists, so you do like to see that, but 0 block shots. Denny Avdia, 22 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 points from Drew Holiday, so a rough one from him. He was 3 of 14 from the arc. Scoot Henderson, after having that miraculous game 2 and everyone looking at him because through the first 3 games he looked great, he had just 5 points. On the bench, it was 11 points from Sidy Cissoko, who got 20 minutes of action in this game. 11 points, 7 boards from Robert Williams. Jeremy Grant had just 12. And that's the breakdown. That's the Haps. That is your final Rip City recap of the season, as the Blazers fall to the Spurs 114 to 95. Once again, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number, where we head out to Justin in Portland, who's been waiting patiently. Justin, welcome in to the 5th quarter.
Hey, Rip City. That was a great season we had. I got to keep my head up. I'm super stoked for the Blazers. I'm a lifetime fan. I've been listening since it was just the radio days back when I was in grade school, in the 80s. And I love the Blazers, but I got to say, kudos are definitely in order for the team. They played so good this year, and losing our head coach Billups was rough, but Splitter really stepped up, and so did all the players. But I got to say, what's the X factor here? Like, how did the team fall apart so crazy at the end of the season? That got to make me wonder. A lot of analysts, saw stuff from Jason Quick, saw stuff all over the internet about our new great leader who bought the team, who's not a Portland native, not an Oregon native. I don't even know if he really cares about the team, frankly, except to make some money off it. It's not. I don't think it really helped the team in the playoffs having him start penny pinching and sending a lot of really bad signals. It was a distraction. It was a huge distraction. I don't know. What's your take on that?
Well, Justin, I think I do think that whenever you're going to have a change in ownership, right, you're always going to go through these speed bumps, as it were, because it's completely new. It's not something you're used to. And when you do get a guy who comes in and there's some cost cutting, then yeah, that's gonna sting a little bit, and it might weigh on you. I think the unfortunate part is the timing of that. I mean, the league and him. I mean, we knew as soon as all that stuff was going down that March was going to be the close date, and I wish that maybe they would have closed it after the season, because to give Tom Dundon a pass here as a new owner, you don't want to wait a month and a half after you take ownership before you start doing what needs to be done. You want to hit the ground running. Timing wise, I will tell you though, to your point, Justin, not ideal.
Yeah. Well, what about the thing? I mean, Coach Splitter, his job is to coach our team, and I think he did a fantastic job. But then when your job's on the line and you know that other people are being swooned, I don't know if you can call it that, being like insulted, offered half their going rate for the existing job they have, and being told, oh yeah, come on to our team, I'm leading our team with this great half rate offers. How is that going to help Coach Splitter, who's done a tremendous job of coaching this season, for the Blazers? And here he has, knowing people are being offered these half rate jobs, come to Portland and get paid half off. I mean, what kind of message does that send?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. And I will say this, I have said it since day one. I was a massive, massive fan of Thiago Splitter when he was hired as an assistant coach. I'm on record. You can go back and find Blazers game days and courtside Mondays where I said that was the best hire of Chauncey Billups' tenure. And then the craziness happens after the first game, and he gets thrown into the head coaching spot, Justin. And people want to give him a bad rap, like, oh, why did he do this in the playoffs, or his rotations that? This man was hired to be an assistant coach, was thrown into being head coach in the second game of the season, and got this team to the playoffs. If that does not earn him a head coaching nod with this team moving forward, that signal it sends is, guess what? Good enough is never enough.
Well, I think you did a great job. I appreciate your point, and I want to give Dundon a chance. Maybe he's saving up pennies and putting it towards it where it really counts, with some excellent players that could come to the team. So all the trash talking I've done, I'd hope if Dundon actually listens to this, maybe he'll know that I'm going to give him a chance. But other than that, I have my suspicions. If this team leaves Portland, I'm going to be very upset, to use it in radio-friendly terms. And, Oregonians are going to be upset. We are Rip City, not Dundon. And he's coming to this family, so I hope he can step to the plate and make better decisions.
Yeah, absolutely, Justin, and thanks for the call. And I tweeted that out a couple weeks ago, and I said I think one lesson that he is going to have to learn, and I mean it respectfully and wholeheartedly, and I think any owner who would have bought this team would have had to learn that. Jody Allen already knew it because of her brother, and that was, it's more than a basketball team. This is Rip City for a reason. I have said this during the tank. I've said it during the good times, that this team and this fan base ebbs and flows with the product. They are one. Rip City is very, very special. I have been to every city in the NBA except for Houston. Got to throw that out there to maybe see if the boss will send me to Houston one day. And there are some phenomenal fan bases out there. Ones that eat, breathe, sleep their team. And there are ones that absolutely do not. Portland is top tier in that aspect. Oklahoma City reminds me of that. San Antonio reminds me of that. Sacramento is one that is very similar to Portland in the fact that they don't want to be lumped in with the Bay just because it's an hour and a half drive away. We're something different. We're our own thing. And that's the one big sport they have. And that's what makes Rip City special. So maybe that's a lesson to learn, that Rip City is unique in its fandom. And you got to take care of Rip City. Don't just take care of the Blazers. You got to take care of Rip City. There are sports franchises in this world, my friends, that could not care less about how the janitor or the usher or the person who scans your tickets is treated. Portland is not one of those fan bases, because if you're in that building and you rep Rip City, they love you. And I like that about Portland, and maybe that's a lesson to be learned. Now, all we've talked about the game and everything that happened, I'm with you. I want to see what happens this offseason, because it's going to be a very interesting one, to say the least. But same like, the people, the saying of like, when you're on a plane, you don't wish for the captain to, have a bad day at the helm. I want Tom Dundon to succeed. Now, NHL is much different than the NBA, but he has found success in the NHL. Carolina is one of the best teams out there, and he ruffled feathers a little bit and turned it around. I think I want to give that man a chance. I still think optically in some of the things he's done, not great, but I still want to see what happens here. All I know is the one thing that we do know is that this team this year was phenomenal. And the only reason this game hurts, and the only reason it hurt in Game 3 and Game 4 is because for the first time in years, my friends, as I've told you a few times, you had expectations. What? Expectations? What is that? The only expectation you had for the last 4 seasons was the expectation that you were going to tank games to try to get a better lottery pick. Having expectations of success on the court is a much different feeling. And I'll take that. I'll take that. All right, let's head back out to the phone line. Sam in Portland returns to the 5th quarter. Welcome in, my friend.
Hey, Chris. Oh, man. Well, I guess an asteroid hit the SoftBank Arena.
Look at you, see? Full circle.
One made of about 30 bricks. 3-point bricks to be exact.
Yeah. Man, how many times, Sam, how many times have you called into the show or talked to me at the arena and talked about 3-point shooting and how they need to get better? They need to get better. It's going to hurt them. Well, guess what, my friend? It definitely hurt them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, shot efficiency, that's one of my favorite things to highlight. I mean, it is like the deciding factor of most basketball games. Playoffs, defense is a big factor too. But overall, I don't know. We don't have that like knockdown shooter that like, I don't know, Dame. Not Dame. I'm thinking of like Desmond Bain, someone like that. Like a Derek White that can hit threes. Devin Vassell. That's a guy that can hit threes when it matters.
You saw it in
Buddy
you saw it.
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield was good for a minute too, but you saw it firsthand with San Antonio because they had one guy who the main thing he was out there doing was to hit open shots, and that was Julian Champagnie. And every single time he got an open shot, boy howdy did he drain it.
Okay. My dad and I, he's sitting right next to me, we want to pilot a new word, and we're hoping that it catches traction. It's called Wembanyphobia. Now, Wembanyphobia is the effect that Wembanyama has on the, 7-foot radius around the basket. Players are so afraid of the rim and afraid of Wembanyama that they won't approach him for thinking about a shot. And we call that Wembanyphobia. What are your thoughts?
I think that needs to be put on a T-shirt, and you could probably sell that in Texas and make some money. Wembanyphobia. I like that. Good work. Yeah. It's almost like you're a writer, Sam, and you're good at this stuff.
No, this is my dad. This is the writer genetics.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'll take it.
Yeah, my mom helps me with school essays. My dad will help me with basketball terminology. He's actually very good with play on words.
That's awesome.
I think going into the off season, the decisions we have to make are, when do we want to win? I think Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant are players for winning now, winning in the next 2 years, maybe 3 years if you want to extend their contract. But if you want to win in 4 years with a developed Denny who's 29, you want to scoot 25, 26, that's a real established point guard. I'm sorry, Drew, Jeremy, great tenures on the Blazers. I think that's the chopping block for the Blazers starting off the offseason. I think to make room for Scoot, make room for Shannon Sharp, maybe even, hear me out, Caleb Love, so that we can have Damian Lillard in the rotation.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, Sam, and I appreciate you as always. I'm gonna send your dad a nice little email because you and I got to connect over the summer, my friend. But no, that's the clear path. You got to find a way to get off Jeremy Grant. What is the future of Drew? We shall see. I'm sorry to break to you. I don't think at this point in time Caleb Love has a spot there, because especially if you got all those guards. But it might be hard to put Shea in that conversation too, because he played himself out of the lineup today. One of our texters asked already, like, how come he only played 6 minutes? Well, defensively, he has been very, very bad, and coach didn't like that. So I don't know. All I know is my eyes are open. I'm ready to see what's going down, because the offseason is going to be absolutely it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. Shout out to everyone who's jumping in the text line and the YouTube chat. I'm trying to catch up. If you guys could only see, I got a phone line here that has everyone's who's on the line. We'll get to everyone here in just a second. I got another screen with the YouTube chat. I got a screen with the texters, which they're coming through hot and heavy. So I'm trying to catch up. Absolutely, I am. So if I haven't mentioned your question or anything, I apologize. I'm doing my best there. But here we go. One of them says, "Can you hear me booing Tiago from Tiger?" That is, I hate the text. I don't know names, but I do know that's our resident Tiago hater who likes to battle with me. And I did hear a few times. I thought it was just the Coyotes out back, which is also kind of perfect, considering the Coyote is the Spurs mascot, and we do have some out in the backyard here. But no, I maybe I did hear you. Another one. Do we have any draft picks? No lottery, I know, but no. No lottery picks, and no second rounders, I believe. So yeah, you got to figure a way to get in there, because that pick conveyed over to Chicago, which is good, because the pick conveying does release some of your future picks through the Stepien rule. What's going to be interesting is with the new stuff that broke today with the re-proposed draft lottery being the top 16 teams with even odds. So it's no longer the percentages as you go incrementally. Each team gets 3 ping pong balls, unless you're one of the worst 3, then you get 2, because that's your incentive to not be bad on purpose. I like that, but don't like it, because it's gonna change some stuff. Might take some getting used to, but we'll see what Joe Cronin and co try to do when it comes to draft night. Maybe that's where you offload one of these guys. It's going to be very, very interesting. Another one, when the Blazers lose in the playoffs and get knocked out, I always feel like Shawn Michaels is telling me, "I love you," before some sweet chin music. That's, to Ric Flair when he ended, "I'm sorry, I love you." I don't know. It's less "I love you" and then sweet chin music. It's more raising the hand and making you feel good, and then pop in your tag team partner and Marty Jannetty picking him up and throwing him through the glass. You know what I mean? There's that. Another one. How much leverage could teams have over a city if their name is the Sprocket and the Cogs Blazers? I don't even know what that means. So sure. Tons of leverage, no leverage. You know the answer to that, not me. All right, trying to catch up on those texts. Everyone, absolutely appreciate you. The phone lines are lighting up, so let's head back out there. We'll go to Drew in Portland. Drew, welcome into the 5th quarter.
Hey. I wanted to say that I thought, it was a great few moments end of the season. I thought, it was a good season. It started real well and ended real well, and it was kind of frustrating, in the middle with all injuries. But I just thought our team never addressed its shooting woes. In Game 3 and Game 4. If we'd had someone who could come in and just get easy bucket without having to attack the paint, didn't need to be a 3, right? You just need someone to get you a couple buckets to get the crowd going. I think that would have made a big difference in those games. But we never addressed that all season long. And so, that Spurs team won 62 games. The 2000 Blazers won 59 games. They won more games than the 2000 Blazers, So I thought, we got the Spurs. We wanted the Spurs. We got to win against the Spurs. We'd have been swept by the Thunder. I hope the Thunder beat the Spurs, because I don't think I like this team very much. I don't like the treatment Wemby gets by the officials. Only one foul, and it's not midway through the 4th quarter.
that kind of stuff just irks me. But I would like to see the team show up next year with some real deep NBA talent and like a mission from go to get back to the Western Conference Finals and go beyond.
No,
Like, that's what I'd like to see the Blazers do. You know, that's the mindset I want them to come back with.
no, absolutely, Drew, and thanks for the call. And I think that this playoff run helps that. I was listening to the post game there and heard Donovan Clingan and text chat. I was like, what I loved about Donovan Clingan's post game was he was admitted that this wasn't a very good series for him. He didn't play up to his standard, and now he knows that he has things to go work on. And I love that. And I think you got that guy. You got guys like Denny who wants to win. You're gonna hopefully start to turn the corner and really, really wish and hope that this wasn't a one-time thing. You get back into the playoffs next year. Now, you and a couple of the commenters on the text line talking about adding shooting, and that's something that they tried to address at the deadline when they got Vit Krejci, who came in as a career 40% shooter, unfortunately shot very poorly in his time in Portland, and then gets that late season injury where it's like he never got a chance to get in a rhythm with his new team. And that sucked because he's a very good shooter. He has been. If you've watched his games in Atlanta, you've seen him in Portland a few times. Like, he's a good shooter. That's going to buoy itself back out. When he got hurt, and not only did he get hurt, it's like, okay, that hampers his ability to get in with the playbook, learn how these new guys play, and all of that never allowed him to get into a rhythm. Because a guy like Vit Krejci, too, when you're a great shooter, just to be a great shooter, you also have to have great passers, guys who know how to get the ball in your shooting pocket, get it where you like it. Look at Jeremy Grant. He gets that ball above his head and can shoot without bringing the ball down, and everyone knows that, so they pass the ball to him there. When he was never able to get into a rhythm, I think that just hurt him for the rest of the year, and that's why you didn't see him that much in the playoffs either until today when he had a few minutes, just because, again, just when you're a rhythm guy and you can't get in a rhythm, very, very unfortunate. I would hope that maybe the offseason helps that, but I mean, that was the only move they really did to address that. They do need some more, and hopefully this offseason brings it. All right, let's see. Where are we going to go now? We're going to go out to Bryce. Big fan of the show, always calling in out in North Portland. Bryce, welcome into the fifth quarter.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
It's going well, my friend.
I will say 2 points. I think it could have been worse, and the first point highlight. I have to love City Sissoko posting Wembanyama for the official game review and one when it really felt like, I think the moment we had in the game was when we put it within 9, and then within a few possessions, you have that City drive over Wemby, get the and one that they have to give the official review to.
Mm-hmm.
It unfortunately didn't go our way, but I love that for us. I think that was fantastic. And I think like the one game where we did get a little blown out like this, it wasn't the end of the season, but Scoot made a well beyond the logo like 3, where it just kind of felt like it wasn't as bad of a loss. These highlights I really love. So I would say that point, and the big thing of calling in is I feel like the hope of the healing power of inexpensive NBA basketball, in spite of the ownership change, is still alive in Portland, and I look forward to it every moment of next season.
Well, Bryce, I appreciate the call. I appreciate your passion, and that's why I brought up earlier about Tom Dundon and how he needs to understand he didn't just buy a basketball team. He inherited Rip City, and Rip City's special. It's why it is not, and I tweeted on this on social during that moment too. That's why it's not lost on me how fortunate I am to get to sit in this chair now for the last 2 seasons and host this pre and post game show and listen to all of you and talk you down when you're wanting to burn it down and talk you up when you're overly pessimistic, and just have great conversations, because whether we agree on who should be the head coach or disagree or whatnot, what brings us all together is Rip City, man. It's the Blazers. That's why we're all here. So when they're out here and they're out kicking the expectation and they're making it to the playoffs, and they win a game against San Antonio, and you feel after a long time of tanking that maybe finally there's light at the end of the tunnel, it makes you harken back to Brian Wheeler, right? It's a great day to be a Blazer. Vibes are good. Vibes are good. Does this loss sting and does it suck? Absolutely. Does not getting out of the first round and only winning 1 game hurt? Sure. But felt a whole lot better than sitting here watching 16 other teams play while we wait to get to May in the draft lottery, wondering what pick do we get? And do we get disappointed to find out we were just 1 number away from getting the pick you wanted? Nah, man. This felt great. This felt great. Also, when the text line's firing up, the YouTube's firing up, and the phone line's firing up, it's definitely a great day to be out here having some fun. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I see Uncle Blazer and I see Gary, who have been waiting very, very patiently. You two stay there. As soon as we get back, we're going to head back out to the phone line and grab you two, because I got to get your thoughts on all this as well. Thanks for your patience. I'm going to use this time to catch up on some of these texts too, man. Got to see, my computer might start to burn. They're coming in so hot. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, the vibes are great here. We're going to wrap this season up like same way we started it and got through 82 games, as one big Rip City family, my friends. This is the 5th quarter. We carry on after the break here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, we are in a commercial break. I'm going to keep chatting with you guys for a minute while I can. As Sue says, show me your Blazer. That's right, man. Feels good, doesn't it? Oh, man, so many of you who listen to Travis with the sound down on the TV. That's awesome. That's awesome. I really hope, or wish that there was a way to integrate that into Moda. And I know that they've tried some stuff out with an app and all that, but it's just been preliminary. But I think it'd be so cool to be able to go into a game and sit down and just have a no tape delay feed that I can tap into and just get my radio call. I can just hear Travis call the game right there. So we have we have a feature. It's not really a feature, but we have a phone number called pre-delay. And we call that every once in a while to check the radio station, and we can hear that before it goes out, because what goes out on radio, there's a 30-second delay before you hear it on radio. That's why you have the dump button, right? If someone says one of those no words, you hit the dump button and it cancels out. Now YouTube is live, so there's no break here. Like what you're hearing on YouTube, you're hearing that before you hear it on radio. But we do have a pre-delay that we can call in and takes that away. And again, we use that to verify that we're hearing the right stuff on the radio station and whatnot. And I have called that number a few times during the game just to listen to Travis's call. And it was just so cool to have his instantaneous call as soon as the play happened. You could listen on the iHeart app, right? But then it's not synced up. And you could try to sync up the TV and stuff, and it doesn't work. Having those calls and being able to listen to your local guys is really, really cool. So I think that'd be really awesome to have in the arena as well, as something to kind of tap into and add to the experience. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Also, I'm glad Air Weldon heard, excuse me, Wembenyonka. I heard it as Wembenwonka, which then I was like, that makes a lot of sense if you called him Wembenwonka, because he's literally taller than everyone. So it's it's Wembenyonka and everyone else is an Oompa Loompa. Everyone. like Wembenwonka. I love it. Peter says, I'm so proud of this team. They had us like 35 wins this year. And I appreciate that comment, Pete, because that's what I've been trying to lay down a little bit. Being disappointed in this loss totally makes sense because, again, the expectation and being in the playoffs felt great. But the fact that they outkicked their coverage, so to speak, they beat the expectation, made it, that feels good. Now, on the other side of that, you got I Hate the Giants, who's done with the Blazers. That's fine. Be done. You hate the Giants? You're going to change your name to I Hate the Blazers? Why not? Perspective. When a team outdoes their expectation, they outperform that. When they struggle still, and you can pick it apart, and that's fair. But when they do better than most people thought they would, that's a win. This was a successful season. I thought Travis and Chad talked about it too, like the Suns. After losing KD and revamping that team, not a lot of people expected them to be a playoff team. They did. So that there was success there. Success is not always measured by just making a championship or getting through the first round. This was a success. I liked it because it's like a solid B+ of a season. A lot of things I would have liked to be different though. And hopefully you work on those things and get it next year. Let's see. You can text him, see if he wants to join, but I don't know. We're in a good spot. The show's doing really good, I think. Yeah, gotcha. Sounds good to me. All right, welcome back into the fifth quarter. I was doing some chatting with YouTube. They were hearing me talk to Michael Shacker, doing some producing as well. Like, do I need to call Chad? Yeah, we can bring him on, but the show's going great. Why do I want to put the kibosh on that? I got some phone calls to get to here in a second, trying to catch up with the texters because they're having some fun, and of course the YouTube chat. But before we get to the phone line real quick, we got to get to our drive of the night, courtesy of one of the guys who's been getting a lot of love tonight, City Sissoko.
It's time for the fifth quarter Trailblazers Drive of the Night, presented by McCord's Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, "We make it easy." Check out their inventory now at vancouvertoyota.com.
Back up top to City, drives center of the lane.
There you go. City Sissoko drives and hits it. Built this city.
Top to City, drives center of the lane, hammers it
There
down
you
in
go.
the face of Wemby with two hands and one.
Sometimes you got to hit it twice. Built this city, though. Well done there by Michael Shacker. He knows what he's doing. All right, once again, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And one of our texters is wanting teams to just remove their team name so he doesn't have to be so loyal to the city. He's like, when I didn't understand what he was laying down the first time, but it's like, if teams didn't use city names and they wouldn't have as much leverage over a city in their name if they were the Sprocket and Cogs Blazers instead of the Portland Trail Blazers, my loyalty would be tempered. That's an easy, hey, if a guy needs some extra money, that's an easy sponsorship deal, right? Like, oh, it's the Krispy Kreme Blazers. Like, please don't ever do that. The fact that I just said that out of my mouth, I regret. I love the Portland Trail Blazers. I love it. I love it. All right, let's head out to the phone line. I got two guys out there who've been waiting very, very patiently. We're going to start with Uncle Blazer. Welcome in to the fifth quarter.
Hey, Christopher, how are you doing tonight?
No, I'm doing well, my friend.
So, last game of the season, I, of course, have to call in. I have four things. and I'll try to keep them quick, but I'd like your thought on all of them. Well, actually, the first one is a comment for you, so you don't have to say anything, which I just really appreciate your energy, your enthusiasm, your positivism, your professionalism, your ability to articulate. You're so knowledgeable, yet you keep it personal. And you definitely stepped in well to this role, and you really are the glue that holds a portion of this Blazer community and the city together.
Well, thank you very, very much for that. That means a lot.
So my next thought is I have a Dundon thought, which is, I'm very hesitant, like many people are, and I agree. I think he really shot himself in the foot with some of that stuff. But I want to give him a chance, so I'm willing to cut him some slack. I want to believe that he really does believe and understands enough about what it takes to win, because if he really wants to win with this team and transition where the roster's at, et cetera, just put everything else aside, he really, at the very least, needs to keep Joe for another year. And, at least we get through to the fall. And if he's smart, he's going to find a way to keep Thiago, because there's so many things that you and I've been a big believer in him since day one. I agree with it from out of the chute that Chauncey did a great job, and with Joe's support, bringing him in. And so I think Thiago's a really good, important part of the winning, because especially in basketball, hockey doesn't seem to have quite the amount of injuries, but you really need depth and diversity, and you need to be able to manage that over the course of the season. And so many teams get really nailed by losing key people or key situations. So that's my Dundon thought. So I'm hoping he'll really step up to saying he wants to be a winner. My question for you, if you have any other comments on Dundon, you don't need to, but if you do, I'd love to hear it. But my next question for you is really like who to move. And, I've been thinking, I'm struggling with this, and I like Scoot. He just hasn't had enough time to get a run and get hit, speaking that rhythm. So I'm leaning towards, well, hopefully he'll stick around. I'm a little nervous about the guard situation and people's needs and their roles and how they develop their rhythm. And part of me goes, well, maybe Stu would be happy on a different team where he's like more of the guy. But I don't know. But the real thing I'm thinking is about, like, what the moves with the players we have to say, well, as much as I love Shaden, he doesn't have he's not an aggressive, he's not hard enough. It's like he doesn't realize how damn good he really can be.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't seem to have that enthusiasm. So I'm going, well, maybe it's really time to move on from him.
Well, we'll see.
So we're thinking about moves for the team.
Well, here we go, Uncle Blazer. And again, thank you so much for your calls throughout the year. And first off, the praise is great. Just for you, I'm still trying to slow down a little bit. I don't know if you've been noticing, but I've been trying, because last time you're like, you're doing great, but you talk fast. And I know I do. I'm trying just for you. The Dundon stuff we talked about a little earlier. I want to give the guy a chance. I also fully admit that the rollout hasn't been beautiful, and everyone who was upset and pointing fingers and all that, completely justified. Absolutely completely justified. But I also don't want to let that be a hindrance to letting us see if he can find success. Again, I will fully admit, I know that the NHL and the NBA are two different beasts, but he has found a massive amount of success in the NHL. Carolina has become a phenomenal team. And when he took them over, they were a team that were the most rumored to relocate every single year. It was them and the Coyotes. And which one of them ended up relocating? The Coyotes. They are now the Utah Mammoths. And for those of you who are hockey fans and paid attention, Carolina was rumored to be relocating to Portland multiple times. Oh, Portland could get in on this. Do they want to get Carolina? He came in. They got the deal done to stay in the arena, do some renovations, and then re-up the lease to stay there for a while. I understand that there's all that stuff going on here in Portland too, And that's what owners do sometimes. I want to see this play out. I really hope and pray that this is not the Clay Bennett situation that everyone's throwing out there. And I don't think it will be. I just want to see what happens here. Maybe he is the guy who gets the changes done that we need. One can hope. One can hope. Speaking of those changes, on the roster, to your question, Jeremy Grant, easily the guy who's at the top of that list who's got to go. Drew Holiday, there's possible value, but at the same time, if you want to open those doors for Scoot and Shea, then you got to find some guards to get out of there, because adding Dame to that is only going to make that even more confusing. I thought Scoot was the better of the two young guys between him and Shaden. Shaden was the better scorer throughout the year, but Scoot was playing better defense. But neither one of them has hit the level that they want. There's just so many questions. I think you go into the year where basically everything's on the table, man. Everything's on the table because you just don't know. This team outperformed what people thought, but they still have plenty of holes, and that's obviously apparent after watching what happened in this series. So I think everyone is on the table, and you should be going to make moves. And if you want to win, you got to make a splash. You got to make a splash. Here's the thing. I think Jody, gets an unfair rap just because the circumstances of taking over the team because your brother passed away are terrible. And she never wanted to own the team, and then her job was to make sure the thing stayed afloat until they got to sell it. She was playing in the kiddie pool. Tom Dundon, you just dove into the deep end. You got to learn to swim. And the NBA is completely different than the NHL. His whole idea of paying coaches a little bit of money and $1.5 million, that flies in the NHL. But for those of you who don't know, the average coach in the NHL makes about $1.5 million, $2 million. The highest paid coaches in the NHL make what NBA coaches at the league average make. Because the league average for a head coach in the NBA was about $6 to $7.5 million. The highest paid coaches in the NHL are making about $6 million. It's a completely different ballgame. The highest paid players in the NHL are making just a little bit more than what would be the full MLE in the NBA next year. Yeah. It's a whole different ballgame. You just, not only are you in the deep end, you jumped off the high dive, my friend. Gotta learn. Bruce says, Chris, you're my favorite radio guy on the Blazers, but I'd love to see Grant and Sharp if it's for a big deal. Are you talking like you'd love to see Grant Sharp traded if it was for a big deal? I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to go make a splash and make a big deal, anybody's on the table. I think Tumani is one that's a lot of people want to put in the untouchable realm. I think some people have argued that he's great, but he's more of a bench player. That might be the case because he wasn't great offensively in this series. Denny is probably part of your core, and Klingon needs to improve, but he's probably part of your core. Outside of that, whole lot of questions. All right, I got to get out to Gary. Gary, welcome into the fifth quarter. First off, you deserve a ton of praise because I had so many phone callers and all this stuff. You've waited very, very patiently. The floor is yours, my friend.
Hey, can I back up the caller that's just finished, man? You one of my favorite, bro.
Oh, thank you.
You and Michael. you guys remind me of Snapper. God bless his soul. Rest in peace. Snapper Jones. But yes, I have a different opinion towards the team. If you go get the food, you shop for the grocery, and that chef cannot cook the food, you're going to taste bad. And I don't know what you guys see in Splitter, but I don't see nothing in him. That guy don't have no experience in coaching, man. I've been a Blazer fan for 52 years, from 1976. And him and Chansey is the two worst I ever see come here. All right. The Blazer, if the three go down, they normally win. But they are one of the worst shooting three-point team in the league, and that's what the offense build around. They don't move without the ball. One guy bring up the ball, and everybody plant themselves around the three-point line. Basketball doesn't play that way, bro. And he has that team for 80 games, probably 79. I don't remember since they get result. It's responsibility to what he do. And I was happy because I couldn't take that guy coaching as a diehard Blazer fan. and Spitter come in and he rest. We need to get a good coach. Simple as that.
All right, Gary.
A good coach win game. They're supposed to lose, and a bad coach lose game. They're supposed to win. That's Spitter. Real quick, that's a good team in Portland. You need a coach to put it together. One quick point before I go. Sharp and Anderson's a good player, but you need the coach to get them to the level they need to get to. I love Sharp. I agree, he's a little not too strong on defense, but when you play team defense, it's not going to show too much. And Portland do not play team defense. Portland play me ball, 3-ball. That's not going to get it done. Spitter need to go, man. Joe, too.
All right, Gary. Well, thank you for the call. Now, I just want to round back to your first comment here. First off, I don't know. I can't keep letting you on the show if you're going to make me hungry, okay? Yeah, when you come in, you make a reference about going shopping and buying groceries and cooking. I just want to eat dinner now. So thank you for that. But it made me think, how good is a chef if he doesn't have the sous chefs he needs in the kitchen with him? Because I think one thing that I find hard to evaluate with Thiago a little bit is the entire time that he's been head coach, he has been doing it with Chauncey Billups' staff. And that I find hard to gauge where that coach is, because what is it different if he is bringing in his guys who really have a grasp of the offense and the defense he wants to run? I think that can improve any coach. Secondarily, if you went and the ingredients you bought, you didn't check. You just went, I need some spinach, so I go and grab some spinach. I get home, well, guess what? I bought rotten spinach. It's going to be hard to make your salad or whatever it is that needed it. And sometimes this team, a lot of these players have shown holes in their game. The bugs have come through, eating the greens. You got to get better ingredients. To your point, though, you could have the best ingredients in the world. But if you have a guy who's never been in the kitchen before and doesn't know how to cook, you're also going to get a whole lot of nothing on that plate. So it does have to be a beautiful balance with the ingredients and the cook in that kitchen. And I'm 100% on the same page as you when it comes to the offense, because any of my listeners, and you're one of them, and everyone in the chat knows, what do I hate? And I talked about it in the pregame show today. I hate iso ball. What was the saying I said today? Iso ball can be kicked into the sun. I don't like it. It works in small batches, and when you have a guy who's good enough to put the ball on the floor and play it. But when every single person tries to play it and you have no ball movement, it kills you. I don't like that. Good point, Scary. Except I am very hungry now because we made a bunch of chef puns. I like that. I don't know how punny I am, though. How punny is this guy? It's time to welcome in Chad Doing. Chad, it's the last fifth quarter of the year. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, you spend so much time over the course of 6+ months covering the team, and then when the season ends, like all of that work, all of that time, all of your focus, it just ends just like that. And so I have this hollow feeling inside, even though I'm excited about, you know, having my time back, but it's a really bizarre feeling to go through the experience, the separation, because I'm around certain people all the time for like 6 months, and then all of a sudden it's going to end. So it's a really bizarre situation when the season closes.
Isn't it just like this business sometimes when you're sitting here, you're 82 games in, you're like, oh, this season is so long. Oh, and we got playoff games too. I'm exhausted. And then the minute it's done, you're like, now I got to wait like 3 months. This is stupid.
I know, dude. It's so weird. It's such a violent process because there's so much work and effort that goes into it. And, you know, I would imagine a lot of it, you know, the players feel the same way because they work so hard during the off season. They put in the time, and then you grind through an entire season, and you get to this point where you play a playoff series, and then all of a sudden it's over. And just like that, you move on, and you start the process all over again. So it's really weird. But, you know, I've just been, you know, thinking back throughout the course of the season, and I understand the playoff loss was wildly frustrating for all of us. To see it end the way it did, especially with back-to-back home losses when you had double-digit leads in the second half. But, from the start of the year up until right now, I just think by every metric you could measure it by, it's been a successful season for the Trailblazers.
Chad, realistically, and these seasons, you and I just made a joke about the season being long, and it is, but I think you forget some things along the way too. But when you look at the fact that your head coach was arrested after the first game of the season, you have to promote one of your assistants on day 2 of the year, you had more players lost to injury, more man bodies or whatever it was, man games lost to injury than any other team in the NBA. You changed owners once you flip the calendar. This team had every excuse in the book to not be good or to not live up to what the preseason projections were, and they still outperformed that. And that's why I'm with you. Yes, the playoff series loss hurts, but this was a success of a season to me.
Their win total from last year by 6 games. They outdid the Vegas total, which was set at 34.5. They had to call up 2 two-way players in the middle of the season because of significant injury, and those guys performed. Denny Avdia was able to take over as the primary facilitator. He played his way into an all-star game. Jeremy Grant had his best season as a Trailblazer. Donovan Clingan improved in every single aspect of his game throughout the course of the season. He had a great year, number 2. Scoot showed flashes down the stretch when he came back from the hamstring injury. Robert Williams III was healthy throughout the year and made serious contributions off the bench and formed one of the best 1-2 tandems in the middle in the NBA with he and Clean. Tiago Splitter, for his first stint as head coach, taking over for Chauncey Billups, did a heck of a job. So, yeah, I really can't, look at this season and think it wasn't a success. And, the reality is they were playing a team that won 62 games, a team that's one of the best in the NBA that's going to compete for a championship this year. So there's no shame in getting knocked out by the Spurs. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They are very good and well constructed, and they don't have a lot of holes in their game. And Victor Wembanyama is absolutely unreal. So yeah, that's where I'm at too, Chad. It can suck to lose, but the season overall was absolutely great. And then I think the next question, just logically for you, is like, what do you think needs to happen in the offseason for them to make sure that this wasn't a one-off and they can continue to take that next step and make it back to the playoffs?
Well, I think the most important thing is, number one, they mentioned this last year, but it's true. They need continued internal development for the young players. So Scoot, Clingan, Shaden, Denny, Tamani, all the young guys need to continue to work hard during the offseason and accomplish the goals that the team and their trainers and everyone set out for them. I think that's important. And then outside of that, utilizing the tools that they have to take a long look at what opportunities are out there in free agency and via trades to be able to improve the roster. I think very simply, this series exposed one of the real weaknesses. This team needs to find guys who can knock down shots. They put up a lot of threes. They did not shoot a good percentage from downtown. They need shot makers. It was an issue again tonight. They were 4 of 21 in the first half from 3. It was an issue in the second half of both games 3 and 4. They need guys that can make shots. And so what I'm excited about, Chris, is that they've got tools between some of the veteran pieces on the roster or maybe a young contract like Shaden Sharp and the draft picks that they have. If they want to be aggressive, they've got some of the tools they can work with to go out there. And if they want to go big game hunting, they've got the ability to do that. So we'll see how things shake out. But at the very least, find some guys that can make shots. They need guys who can hit shots, that can provide better offense, and that's going to help them in terms of how they want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, real quick, we got Chad-related questions in the YouTube chat. One of them from the Vino Wino. He says, now that you don't have to stay up till midnight every night, does Chad's coffee intake go up or down over the off season, or does it stay the same?
Yeah, I always start out every day with a 5-shot Americano, so that remains the same. But the copious amounts that I drink in the afternoon and evenings will decrease significantly. So I'll probably get it down to my 5-shot to start the day, and then I won't have to drink coffee throughout the afternoon and evening with all of the late nights. So, yes, it does drop. The coffee market's going to probably take a big dip over the next few months as we enter into the off season.
Absolutely. And then Air Weldon is how many Sun Devil games are you hitting up after golf games this fall?
That's a good question. I know that my buddy Steve and I we're already eyeing the schedule, and so now we're going to wait for the NFL schedule to drop, which is going to come out here in the very near future. And then what I'm excited about is the Broncos play in Arizona against the Cardinals this year. We're hoping that it matches up with the weekend when the Sun Devils are playing a home game, so that we can catch Sun Devils Saturday, Broncos Sunday, and then that's what I'm hoping for. But I'll definitely make it down there at least 2 to 3 times.
All right, and one more question for you, and it's a good one. It doesn't even have to be about what was on the court, but you know what, you had a long year. You and I both get unique perspectives and get to talk to a lot of people, and so one of the questions for you in the YouTube chat is, ask Chad what was his favorite memory from this season.
That's a great question. I would say my favorite memory from this season was, well, there are a couple of different things. I think for me, Denny Avdia reaching the All-Star game was awesome because I'm a big Denny fan, and I'd love to see him, achieve that goal because he's playing for an entire country of people. So I was really happy for him. And then, media day when, Dame came into Studio C and he sat down and I had a chance to interview him, to see the look on his face and how happy he was to be back home, just to see him in front of me wearing a Dame Trailblazer jersey, like it really was surreal. Like, I couldn't believe he got traded. I couldn't believe they got him back. And to see him in a Blazer uniform, knowing that the next time we watch a meaningful game, we're going to see him play basketball for the Blazers again, that was pretty awesome. But I still can't believe Dame's back in Portland after being traded to Milwaukee. That's still wild to my mind.
Yeah, gosh, it absolutely. And the fact that we've heard that a few times now, Travis said it too, but yeah, the next time we see the Blazers play, Damian Lillard will be suited up. That's a pretty good feeling, Chad.
Yeah. Oh, and then one little note too that I thought was funny. You remember when Tamani got his tooth knocked out?
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was against, I want to say it was against the Rockets maybe. So he gets his tooth knocked out. He walks over, picks it up off the hardwood, hands it to someone on the bench, and after the game it cracked me up because somebody asked him, hey, what do you think about the nickname that's flying around, Tooth Monty? And he goes, I think it's terrible. And he started laughing. That was really good. I enjoy that moment because Tooth Monty, that just cracked me up. And he's like, I think it's terrible.
I also like that memory because I'm pretty sure I was the first person to tweet out or mention Tooth Monty. I don't think I've ever crawled into a hole faster than when he didn't accept it.
Yeah, he did not accept the nickname Tooth Monty. I thought that was great. And then, seriously, I still can't believe that City Sissoko and Caleb Love played meaningful minutes and actually helped them win games. Like, if you would have told me that was going to happen before the year, I would have said you're crazy. But those two guys, they played their asses off and stepping into to fill a larger role. And I asked Caleb, I talked to him after a game like a week and a half ago, and I said, hey, what did the experience in the G League help you with that transition when you came up to play with the Blazers? And he said, no. And I said, well, why not? And he said, well, he goes, when I'm with the G League team, he goes, I'm the primary ball handler and I can take as many shots as I want. I'm looking to score, but he goes, when I came up here, it's a different role and a different mindset. And so when he told me that, I was just blown away. And I was like, he's right. He had to change his role to learn how to adapt to the guys he was playing with the Blazers, and he did a heck of a job. So I mean, it's pretty amazing that those two guys were able to make meaningful contributions, and City earned a contract out of it, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Chad, I'll let you get out of here, go rest up, and I look forward to the email I get at the end of the week that has me scheduled for some Hops games now. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I look forward to you continuing to text me and complain about corporate and everything else under the sun, because that's what you do, and if you didn't do it, I would think there was something wrong with you.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, man, I can't. Hey, take some rest. I'll talk to you on game day in October, okay?
All right, and a big thanks to everyone listening out there. We love you, and we love talking ball with you, and it's just great to be able to enjoy the entire season with you. So enjoy the off season, my friends, and we'll get to do this all again here in a few months.
Absolutely. That is the man, the boss man, Chad Doing. Appreciate him a ton. And like I said, some good perspective there. I agree with him. A win of a season, a lot to like, and, the favorite memories. Like, seriously, when you think about that, like the Billups thing, then Thiago coming in, all the injuries, Caleb Love and Sidy Cissoko maxing out basically their two-way eligibility, getting signed, and then winning tons of games for them. Like, there's so many cool storylines from this year. You absolutely gotta tip your hat sometimes. All right, let's head out to another caller real quick. We got Pat in Portland. Pat, welcome into the fifth quarter.
Hey, well, it's kind of a bittersweet, We wanted to see the team go as far as they could, and they ran into another team that was a lot more prepared than we were. But I think some of the guys got some good experience, and I think it told all of us as fans, that we got some work to do. The whole organization does. And I'm wondering, our G League, do we have anybody that could possibly come up next year, like the new center we drafted? I haven't heard much about him, and I'm wondering, would we be better off keeping the three centers that we possibly could have, him and the two we have on the roster now?
Well, Pat, it's a good question, and this is what's going to go on. You got Donovan Clingan, who's locked up. You got Robert Williams, who has pending free agency, and then you have Young Hansen, who's under contract. But he played some games down there in the G League. Maybe he has an off season that helps him out a lot, but there's still a lot from him that he needs to learn to become a viable rotation center. So I think you shore up your center rotation by really hitting the free agent market or those trade markets and see where you can go. Personally, I think they need to do the best they can to get Robert Williams back. He was probably the most consistent Blazer and a great six man. What I love about Robert Williams is the fact that he's basically carved out his niche as a backup center in this league, plays it extremely well, and doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Very smart basketball mind. I love when he comes down the court and you can see him kind of orchestrating. A lot of times he'll tell the ball handler, slow it down. Let's, get here and, get back into our sets. Like, I love what he does. So I would hope that they can find a way to get him back. But Hansen's still a far ways away from becoming a viable rotation player. Now, when it comes to the Rip City remix, signed Youngblood and Kent, who came up on the two-way deals. But the tough part with the G League is it's not like the minor leagues. It's not like minor league baseball where you can just call up and down and guys can come and go as they please. You have guys on your roster in the NBA that you can send down. You have your two-way guys that you can send down and call up, but you can't just look at and say, oh, Chris Burkhardt's a point guard for the Rip City remix. They're my G League team. I'm going to call them up so they can come play a game or two with us. That's just not how it works. So you'd have to do some real digging and look into those teams and see if there's guys there that you like if you want to go the G League route. Now, when Sidy Cissoko and Caleb Love filled out their two-way eligibility, now you signed Sidy Cissoko to a deal that reopened a two-way spot, and then at that point you can go to your G League team and say, okay, Youngblood, we're going to sign you now to a two-way deal, and now that guy can be called up and sent down with a little more fluidity. But in general, no, you just can't go down there. And the Rip City remix, the G League is a developmental league. There are guys who are good, and there are guys who can make that jump to the NBA, but for the most part, it's a developmental league, and you might find some guys there, but you're not going to the G League to fix all your problems. Definitely not doing that. Now, Robert Williams I love, and I would like some more center depth outside of Young Hansen in the long run. We shall see. All right, we'll head out to Brian. Brian, welcome into the fifth quarter.
Yeah, like I was saying already to somebody, but anyway, yeah, we need a power forward, like I said, and that would be a great asset to us because like a Cliff Robinson or a Sean Kemp would be perfect. And they got a draft coming up, so if I was them, I'd go after a big power forward coming out of that draft, and it would really help clean out a lot in the middle.
Yeah, no, Brian, and I like what you're laying down there. Appreciate the call. You were talking to Michael Shacker. He's my producer. He grabs your calls before he sends them to me. But right now you're playing a lineup where you're putting Denny Avdia and Tumani Kamara out there, and if you can upgrade at any of those positions, do it. Absolutely do it. And a true power forward and go out there and spread the floor, but also bang down low. Like that's something that's nice to have. Like I wouldn't have minded having, a Jaren Jackson Jr. type on my team like Utah went and got. And he has the ability to change that team. He was great in Memphis. And if you can get someone to get down in the paint a little bit, Brian, I'm a big fan of that. That's why I would love Donovan Clingan to maybe develop a back to the basket game where he can get the ball in the paint and just pound the rock, man. I think an old school center is kind of missing in today's NBA because everybody just wants to spread the floor. No one wants to get down low. If you would have had a guy down low in this series, Victor Wembanyama would have got beat up. Now, it's not like you're stopping Victor Wembanyama because he's still going to get his blocks. He's still going to work, and he's still a guy who impacts the game, but it changes how you can run offensively. I don't need Donovan Clingan. Even though he hit him in the regular season and did great, I don't need him shooting 6 3-pointers a game. I just don't. You're a massive human, one of the biggest dudes on the floor. I want to see you go up with some ferocity. I want to see you rattle rims. I want to see you shake backboards. That's what I want to see. Also, if you can get an old school power forward, guy who can put their back to the basket, same thing, and then play in the mid-range, opens up that offense just a little bit more. What a guy like Denny needs, respectfully, and you see it when Robert Williams is on the floor. He needs that guy who stays down low and then can get above the rim and body people. Donovan Clingan, still not that guy. He's not the lob threat that Robert Williams is. But when Denny and Robert Williams were on the floor together, what was Denny doing? Throwing that easy lob. The lob to Rob, it got coined for a reason. You need more of that. So I like what you're laying down, Brian. Excuse me. I don't know where you get it. I haven't had a chance to look at draft prospects yet. This is all still fresh in my mind as the season ended, but I definitely understand what you're laying down. This is the fifth quarter. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can hit us up on YouTube and go there, type in Rip City Radio, and you can join the chat. Where I really like RPGs has finally joined the chat. He just makes me want to go play some video games, and that's not a problem. Thank you. And, of course, you can hit us up on the text line 88528. We're going to take a break here in a second, but before we do, it is time for a scoreboard report. Not a lot to report tonight. I told you the only game I cared about was the one in San Antonio, and it didn't go the way we wanted as the Spurs grab a 114-95 victory to beat the Blazers 4-1 in their opening round series. Elsewhere around the NBA tonight, the Knicks 126, the Hawks 97. The Knicks grab a 3-2 series lead, and Philadelphia takes down the Celtics 113-97. Joel Embiid had 33 points, 8 assists, and he gives Philly their second win. It is a 3-2 series lead for the Celtics right now. And then keeping up on what happened last night, just in case you haven't seen, the Nuggets grabbed a 3-2 series, grabbed their second win of the series. It is a 3-2 series now in favor of Minnesota. In Phoenix, the Thunder grabbed a series sweep over the Suns, 131-122, and the Magic are looking to shock the number 1 seed Detroit Pistons. A 94-88 victory gives them a 3-1 series lead. So there is that. Tomorrow, You have the Magic looking to get the series win against the Pistons. You have the Raptors and Cavs. Winner of that one will take a 3-2 series lead. And then you'll have the Lakers looking to close out the Rockets as well as they lead that series 3-1. This NBA Scoreboard Report brought to you by our friends at McCord Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, "We make it easy." Check out their inventory now at vancouvertoyota.com. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll head back out to the phone lines, catch up on all your texts and chats, and hand out some game balls and put a bow on the final fifth quarter of the season. Chris Burkhardt here with you on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. We're enjoying a little chat here. The texts are coming in. The YouTube chat's going. The phone line's been lighting up all night. I appreciate you all a ton as we put a bow on this season. And I have our final fifth quarter of the year because the Blazers dropped one to San Antonio tonight. 114-95. Losing their opening round playoff series to San Antonio 4-1 and ending the season. But again, it was overall a pretty good season. Not anything to be too upset about. They outkicked their coverage. They did more than people thought. Now, Eric Weldon says at this rate, McDonald's going to raise it to $3 purchase to get the free item, man. Less deals in the app than ever. Hey, we were talking earlier about Tom Dundon, right? And, you know, the rollout and people's thoughts on him. You want to know a quick way? If you're listening, Mr. Dundon, welcome to Riv City. I look forward to seeing what your summer looks like. But if you want to make everything good in one move, as I mentioned earlier, you have Luke Babbitt come back to town to announce that the Chalupa deal's back. You have no idea how many people missed the Chalupa. Didn't think that was going to be a thing, but they missed the Chalupa. Or if we can just get a deal like, every time the Blazers score 100 points, you get a free side of orange chicken. Guess what? I'm going to Panda tomorrow. Give me that free orange chicken. Let's go. I would be okay if they just added a little Panda Express inside Moda. Hell yeah. I got done with Blazer game day, walked down to 100 level, got myself a 2 entree plate. Let's go. Or, even better, selfishly, add some Panda Express to the media catering room. Because sometimes the meals down there, they're a little suspect. You got to go up to the concourse and buy one instead. Like, I don't know about that. If you can't tell, the Asian side of me really enjoys the Asian food. My wife always picks on me because when her and I were first dating and getting married, all that stuff, I asked her to make some dinner and I wanted some white rice, and she's like, I was like, where's the rice cooker? We were at her house, like, where's the rice cooker? And she's like, what? I'm like, the rice cooker. What are you talking about? And I go, don't tell me you cook it on the stovetop. And she's like, how else do you cook rice? I'm like, no, you need a rice cooker. And then I was like, don't tell me you probably put butter on your rice too. And she's like, what's wrong with that? I'm a soy sauce guy. The Islander, the Filipino in me. Like, come on. Again, just like Gary was talking about chefs and food, now Panda Express and soy sauce and rice. I'm hungry too. And guess what? It's 11:30. It means it's almost time for a fourth meal, which means the Chalupa needs to come back. See, we've all brought it full circle. We know what we're doing here on the fifth quarter. Now, we like to add phone callers to this show. 503-248-0620 is the telephone number, where we head out to my friend Ken in Vancouver. Ken, we've already said this a few times on the show, but I got to say something before you go. I got to say something that I know you of all people are going to love. And that is, the very next time the Blazers play, Damian Lillard will be in uniform.
Damn straight, my brother. You know what? It was a frustrating end, but it was such a great season. I want to start really quick, going back all the way to the announcement by Joe and the team that Dame was coming back, the awesome get-together at the Pioneer Square where you guys met my daughter, my Blazer buddy.
That's right.
At you and Chad. And that was a great start to the season. And then the season was spectacular, even though there was, the Chauncey situation and all the injuries. But I'm telling you, not only are the Blazers on a renaissance, the Moda Center is going to get a renaissance with the awesome remodel. It's going to help build the city even better. The city's going to be on a rebound, which it's already started. And the future is very bright for this team, and I just want to thank you guys through the season. I want to thank those Portland Trailblazers. God, you guys were awesome. Bless you for helping my daughter and I get through some tough time stuff in our lives and just making game day so special and awesome. My daughter and I went to more games this year than I did my whole entire life. Went to 26 home games.
Nice.
To both home playoff games. Lost my voice. It's still crackly if you can't tell. And this team is going places. And the new owner, I think everything I read, some of the stuff's been frustrating, but everything I read is he wants to improve the team. And I think we'll get back to talking more about those kind of things come near the draft. There could be some deals, whatever, but today is the time to say thanks, Blazers. And Rep City is rocking. We are on rebound, and the future is bright. Thank you so much, Chris.
Absolutely, Ken, and thanks for the call as always. Glad you're back on the fifth quarter train, and I just want to kind of bounce off of something you said there. You're talking about you and your daughter having some tough times, and the Blazers helping you get through that, and that's the beauty of sport, because you never know what's going on. You never know until you walk in someone else's shoes. But in life, Ken, I'm going to be philosophical here. In life, everybody has their ups and downs, right? You could be stressing about health and wellness. You could be stressing about finances. You could be stressing about work. You could be stressing about anything. But there's little things in life that get you away from that. And that's why I love the Blazers too. Because the moments that I get to do Blazers game day and get to sit in that arena and talk to all you fans, or go out to the Pioneer Courthouse Square for the Dame thing and meet you face to face, and then sit here at the end of the year and host the fifth quarter, those times and those moments are where all those worries that we talk about, they're gone. I'm not thinking about my finances. I'm not thinking about work. I'm not thinking about anything else. And what do you mean you're not thinking about work, Chris? This is your job. Yeah, but I'm not thinking about it. I'm just sitting in the moment and enjoying every second of it, and the things that bring us together. And that's Rip City and our love of the Trailblazers, right? So, man, it's a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. I hope that everything that you're dealing with, comes out. You come out clean on the other side of that. And the Rip City and the fifth quarter and myself, we're always here for you, and we appreciate you. But again, man, that's the beauty of sports. Because even if it's for the 2.5 hours inside Moda, or the 60 minutes on this show, sometimes longer like tonight, you just escape it, man, and you just come together. You come together. I remember James Hetfield one time. I've told this story before. Lead singer of my favorite band, Metallica, and talked about how he's at a concert and he talks to everyone. He's like, the coolest part about this show is, we got different political views. We got different religions. We got different ethnicities. We got people from different states, different countries, different beliefs, everything. And none of it matters because you all came here for the one thing you love, and that's Metallica, right? It's the one thing we love is Rip City. So I appreciate that perspective, Ken. I don't know why I said Keith. I got my buddy Keith from the Trailcasters on my mind because he's tweeting at me too. But perspective, man, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So thank you for that, Ken in Vancouver. And like I said, I know you are, if anyone out there is hammering the Damian Lillard drum as the greatest of all time and is leading the charge. It's not a bandwagon. It's a fan wagon. It's you. You love Dame, and you did not like when he was traded. And to think that the very next game the Blazers play, he'll be in uniform, that's beautiful. The only bad part is the very next game is in like 5 months. Oh, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. On the plus side, my friends, keep in mind that you do have Courtside Monday. We'll have an episode on Monday where we're breaking down the season. I'll probably hand out some season grades. And then throughout the summer, we'll get some episodes out there because we'll talk about the lottery. We'll talk about the draft. And, of course, before you know it, it'll be July and it'll be Summer League. And I'm going to say this again because I've said it many times to you. But if you have never been to Summer League in Las Vegas, add it to your to-do list. It is one of the greatest times on the NBA calendar. A chance to just sit in a gym and watch a ton of hoops all day long and rub elbows with the stars, because especially that first weekend, the Dames, the LeBrons, the Giannis's, they're all going to be there. Oh, Summer League's great. And it is just a few months away. All right, we still have a few bows to put on this show, as we always do. We're going to start with our defensive player of the game. I got to do the bad thing. I got to give the defensive player of the game to the other team again, because a game after having 7 block shots, Victor Wembanyama went out there and had 6. He's incredible, and he's only going to get better, and that team's only going to get better. It is not a matter of if, but when the San Antonio Spurs win a championship with that guy. He is so good, so good. And that team had the Blazers offense locked up. They played great team defense. Have to tip the cap. Also, got another award to give out. Our final one of the season. It's time for a game ball. This one is simple. I am giving my game ball to all of you. To Rip City. To everyone who texted all season long, since we added the text line, phenomenal ad, by the way. To everyone who hit us up on the YouTube, to everyone who called, to everyone who said hi in the arena, to you. You're what makes this show awesome. Even my daughter's orthodontist, she just got braces on, had to go get some work done. And my wife's laughing because she's sitting there getting work done today as he's talking about, oh, I almost called into the 5th quarter the other day. I heard your dad. I'm just like, what? I got another fan out there? And the next thing you know, everyone's like, oh, he does what for the Blazers? How cool is that? I've listened to it a couple episodes. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. I sit here. I'm by myself in this room. I don't know how many people are listening. And then I find out that you all just keep tuning in every single game. And it makes me feel so good. So you get the game ball. Because there'd be no 5th quarter without you. It would be just some rando like me, or me, sitting in this room by himself for no one. And the boss is just laughing at me. Was that Milton in Office Space who's been fired? And then there's my stapler and they move them all around? That'd be me, because I keep showing up. But as Air Weldon says, I am semi-famous. That's right. And if you know certain people, I'll even get you a credential to a high school state championship game. That's right, I hooked Air Weldon up. But joking aside, thank you all so much. You make the show awesome. You give me a reason to keep coming every single day, no matter what the team's doing. Whether they are getting into the playoffs, getting in the lottery, it don't matter. We make the best of it. As Pete asked earlier, how do I stay so even in these long seasons? It's because the fans, man. You make it awesome. And you give us something to talk about. So thank you. You get the final game ball of the year. The music's on. You don't hear it on YouTube. Copyright and all. But it means that it is time to go. Once again, thank you, everyone. Massive shout out to the man pushing the buttons out there, Michael Shacker. Him and Brendan dealing with me all year long. And again, a massive shout out to you. I'll be back on Monday, Courtside Monday, 6 to 7. We'll be breaking down the season. I'm sure you'll hear me on the Rip City Drive. Until then, I guess I won't talk to you till what? October for another Blazers game day. Once again, final score from San Antonio. The Spurs 114, the Trailblazers 95, as the Spurs put an end to the Trailblazers season. It was a beautiful, fun ride. But guess what? Hopefully this was just Disneyland, and that was our first fun ride of the day. Time to go ride some better ones. Have some fun, baby, because I think next year is going to be fun. Thank you again to everyone who tuned in tonight and all season long. I love you all. I'll talk to you on the next one. There we go. Shacker cut to break. YouTube's still going for a second. All right. I'll talk to you, YouTube, one sec. You guys can all stay there. All right. You out of here, Shacker? They don't hear you. All right, man. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Boom. All right, YouTube. As I like to do every once, so I'll give you a little extra love. You guys are phenomenal. Seriously. It's very easy for the radio guy to go on and say thank yous at the end of a show because it's just what you do. But this YouTube thing's phenomenal. This is something that I wanted to start when we were at Rip City Radio. I started, there was no YouTube for this station. I wanted to start it. We did fifth quarter every single night to our 5 followers. The fact that you guys keep coming in, and a lot of you have started listening to me through YouTube and come say hi to us at the arena. I'm not even joking, man. You have no idea how much that means to me and the station. But just me on a personal level. I grew up wanting nothing more than to be a talking head. I wanted to be on ESPN. I wanted to be like Stu Scott. I wanted to be cooler than the other side of the pillow. And I get to live my dream every single day. And that's not lost on me. And it's because of you guys, the listeners who tune in all the time and give us something to talk about. You call me out when my takes are bad. You have fun when my takes are good. It's never personal. We just have fun and have great Blazers conversations. So I just wanted to take an extra second to thank everyone in here because you are all amazing. Absolutely amazing. So sucks that it's going to be a few months before there's Blazer game day, but we'll be back. I promise you. Make sure you follow me on social media, by the way, Chris J. Burkhardt. And, you can follow me on YouTube, too. Chris Burkhardt over there on YouTube. Just because, you've seen me comment like this. Hi. Follow that guy. Because maybe I'll try to go live a little more often for you. But again, you guys are awesome. But this is a long show, and I got to go to bed. I'm tired. It's a long season, my friends. Absolutely awesome. Love you all. Talk to you on the next one.